You can go, whatever makes you more comfortable.
Well, how about if I sit down since it's getting late?
That's fine.
That's okay.
Make sure you use your mic.
Mr. Microphone, thank you. Now the presentation's frozen. That happens. There we go. When it sits there a while. All right. So we have two special exceptions this evening. Both of them are in Deltaville. The first one is Special Exception 2025-02. It's initiated by the Better Box Storage LLC. The request is for approval of a special exception to allow leasing of portable storage units pursuant to requirements of Section 8-3.23 and 8-4.8 of the Middlesex County zoning ordinance. The property for which the special exception is being requested is Zone Village Community and is located at 16379 General Puller Highway, Deltaville, Virginia, 23043. Further identified as tax map parcel 40-259, and it's located in the Pine Top District. Some basic property statistics there. It's again, it's tax parcel 40-259 and the address. The existing land use is, there's an old residence there. I'm not sure what the condition of it is, and a good portion of it's being used in agriculture. The current zoning's village community, and the comprehensive plan indicates this parcel is going commercial, and it's roughly 6 acres per the tax records. That fact that its future land use map depicts it as commercial is important because that's one of the conditions of approval, or just the conditions to consider it for approval. It has to be in an area depicted as going commercial. Surrounding land uses vary. To the north is a little bit more agricultural area, village community. To the east is village community. You have a vacant parcel and a thrift shop. And to the south, you have a residential structure parcel. And to the west, you have a retail and residential parcel. This is the current zoning. You can see that it's currently village community. It's most of that area is currently village community. And as I mentioned previously, the future land use map depicts this all going commercial, which correlates with general business generally. This is overhead of the parcel. If you look at the home, the old existing home is located behind those trees, and the little bit of, there's some trees growing behind the thrift shop and some vegetation there, scrub type material. This is basically looking at the area where the boxes would be stored. They'd be behind, I would recommend that they be placed behind that existing vegetation. You could enhance this vegetation. Obviously, some of this will, most of it's deciduous. It'll lose its leaves in the winter, so we would recommend some type of plantings or something to screen it, to soften the view, and probably extend it through the total frontage that the use is being occupied. And here's some more pictures. You can see that scrub and that little overgrowth there does a good job of screening it now. You know, probably be adequate if it was there year round, but being that it is deciduous, you'd have to plant something probably to enhance that. This is a sketch showing where it's proposed to be shown. There's a driveway there. He's showing it being placed in front of the existing farmhouse. This plan does not show any vegetation. One thing you have to note is this plan would have to go through a minor site plan process. or some type of site plan process. So it would be routed to VDOT, probably not Department of Health. There's no septic sanitation facilities being proposed, but the site plan would have to depict a landscaping plan. So this parcel is right directly adjacent to a parcel that had the same use approved about 10 years ago. And these were the conditions that were placed on that parcel, so it stands to reason that these conditions would just move over to this parcel. Since it makes sense that if it was approved once, you would not want to go backwards, you would probably want to maintain what was approved previously. So staff's recommendations are the use shall not commence until the site has been submitted and approved. We're kind of at a weird space because it has commenced. We can't authorize anything until it's actually approved and the site plan's approved. The setback from Route 33 should be increased from 30 feet to 100 feet. I believe those trees are more than 100 feet. A limit of no more than 60 containers that will be kept on the site at one time. You're not allowed to stack the containers. That would obviously have issues with any type of screening. A landscaping and screening plan that meets the minimum requirements of Article 17B of the zoning ordinance shall be submitted with the site plan application. A site plan shall be submitted and approved depicting the above referenced conditions and other site plan requirements specified in the zoning ordinance prior to commencement of the use. You may note in the Planning Commission recommendation that they recommended, and I'll pull down that in a second, but they recommended a $50,000 performance bond to assure the plantings and the screening. I don't know if that number is accurate. It could be more, it could be a lot less. So my recommendation is the performance bond should be calculated commensurate with what's specified and what the board wants. I don't know that you'd need a performance bond for $50,000 if you don't have that much amount. You know, it's not a punishment, it's it's to assure that they get it planted, so. And the Planning Commission recommendation on Thursday, August 14th, the Planning Commission voted 8-0 with one abstention to recommend approval of special exception 2025-02, with the following conditions. As submitted with the addition of a $50,000 bond for landscaping to be completed. So staff has no objections necessarily to a performance bond. It just would probably correlate with the cost of the planned vegetation that's specified. So with that, board action required, either approve the application as submitted, approve the application with staff commission conditions, any additional conditions required by the commission, or you obviously have the option to deny the application. And with that, Mr. Chairman, I'll turn it over to you. I believe the applicant is here to speak on behalf of his application.
I don't know the applicant. Could you come forward, sir? Thank you. Put a face. Yes, sir.
Yeah, oh, he's probably not on yet. Sorry.
I'm Mark Daniel, the Better Box Company. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for this opportunity.
Thank you for being here. Are there any questions to the applicant or to Mr. Kretz?
I just have one for Mr. Kretz. Everything seemed to be okay. In my mind, what I'm concerned about is that does seem to be kind of an excessive bond for just putting up some screening. We're not requiring any fence or anything like that, are we?
I have not recommended any type of fencing. That is, if the board so sees fit, this is a special exception. So the board has all these different things at their, at your option if you feel the need that it needs fencing. So,
Okay.
but-
No, I was more interested in if it's not going to be required fencing. I'm familiar with that area. I've driven by there many times. But I think that I wouldn't have a problem with lowering that bond. That seems a pretty stiff bond. As you said, we're not trying to penalize anybody. We're just trying to make sure they get the screening up. So
Right. Well, in your action, you could just,
designate a different number.
or just direct staff to calculate it based on
Okay,
the specified
thank you.
screening. Yes, sir.
Mr. Chairman, since we do have the applicant before us, sir, is there anything you'd like, this is your opportunity to speak to the board if you would like.
I'm sorry, ma'am, I can't hear
Oh,
you.
I said if there's anything you would like to say to the board, this is your opportunity, since you're the applicant, if you would like to say anything.
Just, I love your community. I wanted to be welcome here. I'm not used to doing anything. I want to be a good community citizen. There's been some discussion about some folks that were there earlier. When they had the planning commission, a good friend told me I talked too much, so I'm going to try to limit what I can say. So, but they put their boxes there. They had a rollback truck. I don't know anything about them, but what I saw, we're very different from that. Our boxes are new. They're the best that we can buy. We have a very low-intensity delivery system. It's a small-duty truck. What you see there now is about the intensity of what you're going to see. What these are used for is if you were going to remodel your home, or if your church had a flood in the basement or whatever. Typically, our customers use our product for 90 days, and they move around. And as of the hearing date, we had, I think, 3 boxes in, it's called Stove Point, very expensive homes, and the purpose of them is so that you don't see everybody's junk in the yard. So we haven't had any complaints, and this committee, this director doesn't need any authority to enforce. They can enforce it. You can put a number on that, but you have all the authority you need already built into your ordinances. So if they didn't approve it, we certainly couldn't go forward. And we have no intention of doing anything except we want to be welcomed here and be something you would call when you have a need for us.
Sir, do you live in the county?
I live in New Kent County.
You live in New Kent County, so
Yes, sir.
this is a commercial venture for you,
Yes, sir, I own Better Box.
okay? Any other questions?
How about far as maintenance to the boxes and stuff? Will you need to wash them, sandblast, do any welding or anything like that?
Those are brand new.
But-
What kicked all this off, they came from overseas, and they were late, and the first go-around was $7,750 penalty. And they said, what happens if we wait another week? I said, throw them overboard, because they're brand new, you just couldn't afford it. No, we typically wash them. If you see them, they're brand, like I said, they're brand spanking new, it's the best you can buy. We don't plan to do any maintenance on them.
But you're in the business of renting them out, correct?
Yes, sir.
So they're going to get use on them, and you're going to have to do maintenance to them, or you throw them away once they get?
No, but I've done this for about 10 years, and the maintenance I have to do to any of them, maybe replace a floorboard. They're tough. They don't,
Okay.
if somebody
you
knocks a
don't-
hole in them, we just.
So you're not going
sell
to hook onto water there and wash any of them off or anything like that?
them with a garden hose, but no intensive, industrial type cleaning.
So can they get water to that without having,
There's a well on the property that functions.
oh, there is, you already have, okay. Do they have to have sewer to be able to, a kind of sewer drain field or anything for that?
Don't intend for that to happen. It's been said that the village is a beautiful place. At one time, it was a fishing village. That's a 1912 home. It's still not, when I came there, I was actually shocked. I didn't know there was a home there. It was so grown up. What you see, believe it or not, is a lot of work to get it to where it is now, and I'm in high hopes that we can save that structure. So, but I don't have any intention of doing any industrial type, welding or garden hose and washing the outsides. About all
Well, I
we
guess
do.
I'm just, the neighbors, one thing, you're in there with boxes and taking them out and everything, the next thing you know, we got air compressors running, sandblasting, or you're welding and so forth
Yeah.
and so on. I don't think may not be what they bought into, so that's why I was asking what kind of maintenance you're looking at doing there.
It's a great question, but like I said, the most I've ever had to do to them, the floorboard or something, to get a hole, and I'll put a floorboard in it.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Any other questions?
Just one comment to Mr. Harris's question. We do have uses that come through that are processed that do not have either one septic or water service. If they don't require them, we don't make them put it if it's not necessary. You know, like solar facilities generally don't need drain fields because they're not manned. So-
If he needed water, he was gonna come off of, Middlesex Water Authority, would we allow that without him having some kind of septic?
The line is in front of them. Do we have access to it?
I think you can have, I think you can have,
Well, so he's could.
yeah, I think you could have water service without a septic. I mean, you could always, I think anybody could hook up to the water authority service and get service. In his last presentation, you know, obviously this site may not, it's slated to move up, to be upzoned to commercial. So this use is probably temporary, maybe until Deltaville gets some sewer. Obviously, he has intentions to keep this property. He needs to, you know, he has it in his possession now, so he needs to, whenever you do that, you have to have some way to maintain the cost of it. And this may be a good interim use until, you know, sewer can get down there and we have a night, you know, a more intense use that we would like to have there. So he noted that in his last presentation last month, so.
Mr. Harris, I also went back and found, I didn't know him, the man that was planting that field, and I went to him and said, I want you to keep planting, because I'd rather see the cornfield there than just old, you know, industrial site stripped down to nothing, so. Mr., I don't know his name, but he's a nice fellow.
Was it Craig Revere?
That's it, Mr.
Okay.
Revere, yes, sir. Very nice fellow.
So a portion of it's still being farmed.
Any other questions?
I got a couple questions. That red and white container out there by the road now,
Yes.
that's one of your containers?
That's one of my containers.
You said they're all of them gonna be 100 feet from the main highway?
That's fine. That hedge that's there, I think it's 120 feet. When you saw those pictures, there's 6 of them behind there, right, and you can't see it. And I know he's very accurate. You can't see through it. There's a row of historic trees, they're great big trees. In front of there's a hedge, just so thick, you can't see through it. And those boxes are behind, you couldn't see them unless you were over top of it with a helicopter. But we'd do whatever.
So
takes.
basically you're saying that they're gonna be 100 feet from the highway,
At least, yeah.
at least 100 feet from the highway. That'll put it somewhere near that old house that you say you may
The
renovate.
hedge are 120 feet. It was
You know, the roof is sagging down on that house. And that container by the road, I guess you're gonna move that, you know, pretty soon to put that back where it was at. You know, where you want it to be if it get passed. And the containers itself, it says 60 containers is gonna be on the property. You got 6 acres there. Is the maximum ever gonna be on that property is 60? How far apart are you gonna place them? You're not gonna stack them, but like they're gonna be 8 feet apart, or do you have any
We allocated
arrangement
a
at all?
dozen, I think, for this project. There's 8 of them there now. And like I say, I actually have full-blown storage facilities with climate control. I have all that stuff, but Mr. Kretz was right. For right now, I will never exceed 60. I'm fine with that number, but I doubt if I'll get over 12, but.
So you don't have no arrangement on how you're gonna put the containers on the land that is gonna be 100 feet from the highway? And, you know, that's fine, 100 feet from the highway there.
Yeah.
You got the old house there, and you're
Yeah.
gonna do screening there, so you won't be able
Right.
to see
Yes,
into
sir.
that.
Yes.
Now you got 12, or you put 60 there, you know, really don't make a difference to me. As long as they are, you know, you got them sitting on the property, they might be 8 feet apart or whatever by design. You know, I'm thinking that it should look a certain way.
Yeah.
And not just putting 8 of them on and stack them right side by side and people back a truck up and pull them out. I don't see design of them. And if you can put 60 there, then maybe it should look like you can put 60 there. And that's just where I'm looking at it, because they give you space apart and you put them in. You don't have to come back to us, or you can say you want 12 a night, and that's all you want, and that's all you're ever gonna put on that piece of property. See, because we don't have anything drew out. If we were drew out, say 60 containers, and you put there 12, then it's fine. You don't have to look at us again, you know. But at the same time, I don't see the old house, as far as I care, you can put a fence straight across it, 6-foot fence, and put everything else behind it, will be fine. But you got a nice 100 feet of land right there to the road. the place to the left and the place to the right, I mean, you know, the storage may make them look better, but I don't, and that's how I'm seeing it. I think it's a
Okay.
good project, just like you said before, because I was at the planning commission. The real well-built, sometimes I'm concerned about the well-built, insulated and heated, because it get kind of crazy. I started thinking about, you know, small homes, cut a window in and put them on doors and have somebody sleep in them.
Yeah, it won't be
You know,
doing
but
that.
I'm not saying it's gonna be like that. I'm
Right.
saying that you look at a picture. I thank you for you, but if they're 60, 100 feet off the highway,
Yeah.
the screen, and I probably would like to see some drew out how they can be put on the property, and that way, you know, everybody can see that, hey, this guy's putting it in, he's making us look good, and he's spacing them. See, because a lot of them just most of the people that put containers in either got a straight road with a road down there, you know, and got them cut across. You know, so I'm just looking at, how it's gonna look, you know, 5 years from now when you decide to put
Yes.
the other, you know, 48 down there that you won't put in there. Because that's what I have seen. I've seen storage being put in, and then you look around, and they got a whole shaboo right there in the same place. So I'm trying to help you to help me.
Yes.
So I'm just saying if you place them, you know, certain distance apart, or had a little small, simple joint, and put it out, you know, with a fence, or whatever thing you want to do, it'll be fine. Because you got 100 feet by whatever it is, you got a property, you're just gonna have mowed grass on.
One of our customers seem to be housing development authorities. If they go into an area and they're going to rehab houses, they'll rent 2 or 3 for each. And if there's ever any kind of a catastrophic event, those things are the handiest thing in this world to have. If one twister comes through here, that's happened to us a couple times where all of our units will go out. We're not a huge company. We have less than 100 boxes in the entire system. So we want to be good neighbors. So I'm agreeing with everything Mr. Kretz said. And again, I thank you. If I can answer any more questions, I'd be glad to do it.
Any other questions?
Mr. Williams, I did have one comment on the box in the front. That, Mr. Daniel could put a sign out there that would have to meet Article 16 requirements for signs. The ordinance doesn't allow for signage on a box like that, so that would have to go back with his other inventory. And there was nothing, you know, being the district he's in, nothing would prohibit him from putting a sign in, so, to advertise his space, so. Just wanted to clarify that.
Great. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
In regards to this matter, Special Exemption Ordinance 2025-02, is there anybody in the audience that would like to speak specifically to this? Okay. Seeing none, I'm going to close the public comment. And with that, Mr. Gentry, would you go back one slide on what's in front of us now? Oh, can you do it, Dave? Sorry. No. It was one where the 3 options were that we could do.
Your recommendation. This is it.
The one that gave us our 3 options.
Yeah.
3 options. There you go. No, that's not. Oh, your 3 options.
And I bring that up just in the event of, let's be clear on the motion that should be made for this. And either you and Heather are combined, because you had some conditions that were added. The 100-foot setback, I think, was one of them. I can't remember what the other one was. But let's go ahead and draft the motion, if we could.
Would you like me to make it I'll make the first one then. It would be appropriate for the board, if you're asking for a motion, you could do a motion to approve the application as presented with staff's conditions. And then any other conditions as set by the board, or I could just leave it there. I'll leave it.
Okay, all right,
I'll leave it there. A motion to approve the application.
with staff
staff's-
conditions.
Staff's conditions.
And you okay with that, Mr. Kretz?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Nobody's here to speak for or against the project. Have you had any calls voicing any kind of,
Not on this particular application.
And the neighbors or anything?
No. One business owner called me, who owns a local, he had no issue with the use itself. He would like the old house torn down. So, I don't know what power we have or authority we have to make the gentleman do that, but I think when this person called, he realized that too. But it was more a comment than anything, I think. But basically, no issue with the use, so.
okay? Is there a motion to approve the application with the staff conditions that has been already preset?
I'll make a motion to approve the application 2025-02 with the staff's recommendations.
Second?
Second.
Motion made by Mr. Bill Harris to approve, second by Mr. Crittenden. Any further discussion?
I got one.
Okay?
Is the distance of the containers on a sheet or whatever you need to draw it on, that show the distance of the containers gonna be apart. I know you can't stack them because I saw in there you can't stack them, but it'd be just like you line them up in some kind of way a certain distance apart. Now, you only start with 12, so he don't have to do the whole property like that. So it'll be an area that he need 12, so he can put more of them down if he want to.
Yes, sir. He's gonna have to on his site plan, he's gonna have to depict an area. I'm sorry. He's gonna have to depict an area, and the area that he's using will have to be depicted with screening to screen it from the street, landscaping and
And it
screening.
won't be side by side, like mounted side by side, to be 6 feet apart or what?
I don't think there's any requirement for him to be, this is not a structure per se, so there's no requirement to space them. In fact, you would probably want to compact, if you compact them together, you would probably have less visual impact than spreading them out across, the face of the frontage of the property. So compacting them in a small space and screening that area would probably be most beneficial.
Well, when we're talking about it, you're putting them side by side. I'm saying an area that you can at least walk around and see what they are. So, what you're saying is compact them. I'm not talking about, mounting them right side by side. I'm saying you're talking about approximately 60 containers, and if you got 100 feet off the highway with probably 120 feet wide, then you probably don't have them on about 4 about 4 acres there, and you got a house there, had the same thing. All I'm saying is that, you have your containers set down so you look at them, and you're not just looking at something touching each other all the way around. You're looking at a nice order, how they're going down. And I just think they'll look good like that, whether they will be 12 or whether they be 60, they'll look the same way. And if you look at some of the other, some of the other containers, and you'll see them, they got some type of structure. So what we saying, his is not like a row of these. It's not like a row that all are mounted right side by side. His is separate. And so being separate, I'm just saying it should be a distance apart. And that's what I would like to see them on it. A little distance apart instead of just putting them down just like anything else. And that's not asking that much. You're not asking that much. You're saying you have some type of order. And you got to establish order. You just can't have the idea of just putting stuff down. But I don't see nothing wrong. I don't see nothing wrong with the containers, except they're insulated a lot. I might got a question about that. But other than that, the only thing I would like, personally, I'm not going to vote against it for that. But I would hope that between the planning commission or whatever in the site plan, it wouldn't hold you up for what you got to do. But I just think if you're going to set them on approximately 4 acres of land, don't waste all your land up just letting people put them out any way they want to. You look at it and say, be proud of what you're going to put down. And to be proud of something, you got to have a certain look to the way it looks. And that's just my opinion. Whether it's a trailer park or anything else. Because I believe it should look a certain way. And you got that red and white containers, they're nice looking containers. So that's all I got to say, Don.
Thank you, Mr. Williams. Sir, you have a rebuttal, quick?
It actually becomes a maintenance. If you get them over so far, you can't get a lawnmower between them. The lawnmower hits them. People call them and say, I didn't do that. You just got dents in them. It's better to put them so far apart. That way they look neater, they're cleaner, and you could deal with it. It gets very difficult. If you said, I want to make, 6 or 8 foot, something arbitrary, it would work in reverse. I'm thinking, I hear you what you're saying. I have one other guy and myself, we basically do all that, so, and again, we wouldn't want to put something that would be ugly so people wouldn't use. And quite frankly, what's going on there is they're actually leaving, going to people's places and coming back. I think one person has showed interest in actually renting something there, so I understand what you're saying, but it would work in reverse. And I ask that you wouldn't make a requirement. But I'm with you, I like things to look good too. I spent a pile of money on that, believe it or not, already. And I'm not ready to tear that old house might be able to be saved. I have an architect and an engineer getting back to me with zeros, trying to tell me what it's gonna cost. So I'm gonna try. But I thank you, Mr. Williams. I'm with you. I would like to.
Just one question while you're still there. So how far are you saying you're gonna put the containers apart?
I don't know, but I think it would be an impediment to say they have to be X number of feet apart, because you take up more land, and again, it's hard to maintain them. You want them to look neat. So when they come in now, all the grass is cut around them, and there's weed control sprayed in them. But if you spread them out.
Well, I'm not talking about spraying nothing a whole lot now. I just wanna know how you're gonna put them in there now. Because it's up to you. I already done said what I think will look further apart, but less time, I don't think that'll look as good. So you got to
Previous
just,
people had a rollback truck. So you
Okay.
can only put those boxes where the rollback truck can go, right?
Yeah.
Think about
Okay.
that. We don't have that. We have a robot. It's very expensive. It takes it off of the truck. It never tilts it. So if you got your things that never goes on a 45-degree angle, bang, everything busts. And that thing, I can walk that box, I can walk in and set it in this room. It's very, it's the top of the line technology. So we can set it, you can set it anywhere. I can come to your backyard, go between your house and septic tank and set that box. That's why they're so nice. I don't mean to confuse you, but
no, you didn't confuse me. You just didn't answer the question. But you didn't confuse me, but I understand. But the small, small places I can put, it's gonna be fine. It's probably gonna pass tonight. But I'm gonna say it like this here, the state, right in front of the schools, they put their little tar down on the road, and spread a little bit of gravel, hay wide on it, but 2 feet apart. And I guess they thought when they put that gravel down, forgot to put fertilizer on the other side. So now what's happening, the grass is growing over in the road. So now if you don't put them things down right, somebody's gonna have to cut that grass. That's what I'm talking about. And I don't think it's gonna be possible for you, put them close together. I was brought up in a rural area. Put them close together and see what the grass can do between. But we'll wait, we'll wait, so, well, just make you cut it later on.
I want to be something you can be proud of, Mr. Williams. That's what I'm
Okay.
trying.
Thank you,
I'll be looking
sir.
at it when I pass it.
Okay, we have a motion on the table for ordinance special exemption 2025-2. Any further discussion? Seeing none, roll call, please.
Mr. Williams,
Yes.
Mr. Bill Harris,
Yes.
Mr. Crittenden,
Yes.
Mr. Jesse,
Yes.
Mr. Don Harris.
Yes, motion's approved. Okay, Mr. Kretz, what else you got for us?
Yes, sir. This is our second application for the evening. This is Special Exception 2025-03, initiated by Sean Adair, Randy Snyder, and Anna Sovine. The request is for approval of a special exception to allow a campground pursuant to Section 10-2A of the Middlesex County zoning ordinance. The property for which the special exception is being requested is zoned waterfront commercial and is located at 70 Dockside Drive, excuse me, Deltaville, Virginia, 23043. It is further identified as tax map parcel 41-25-A-3, and it's in the Pine Top District. Just a few site statistics. I've already noted the parcel number and address. The existing land use is primarily a motel. And again, the property is zoned waterfront commercial. Future land use map depicts this parcel as waterfront commercial, which means it's supposed to stay the same. And you have a parcel area of about 4.27 acres roughly. Surrounding land uses are on the north is waterfront commercial, residential, marina. On the east, waterfront commercial, marina. On the south, you have residential on the south side of 33. That's residential in that particular area. And on the west, you have WC, which is again an existing marina. You can see the area primarily there is zoned waterfront commercial. There's, south side of the road is done residential. There's a little note of residential up to the northeast there, little subdivision.
David, how do we get waterfront commercial with no waterfront? Am I missing something there? The property doesn't have any waterfront, is that right?
No,
So how?
there are parcels that do not have waterfront, that are waterfront commercial. These are zoned this way. They've been zoned this way for,
I'll save that
Since-
education you need to give me.
since the inception. Well, at the time, there could have been, well, these parcels, the uses back in the day probably spanned these parcels. And they just, nowadays, if you would have to either vacate lines to make these contiguous parcels or do something different, I mean, you can't span a use over several parcels without, you'd have to contain it to a parcel. That's probably what happened at that time. When the zoning ordinance went in and the land use was depicted and set up, the uses just spanned parcel after parcel, so. Of course, your future land use map depicts it going the same, no change. This is an overhead. It's not a very good picture, but you can get an idea. To the left is Crown Marina. To the right or east, I guess that's, I'm not sure which marina that is. You can see there's a difference between the two marinas there, though. Yeah, that's it. Thank you. These are some pictures taken of the site. You can see the front area is mostly grass. I think some drain fields are located in that area. You can see there's been some plantings along there. There's already been an effort to try to start screening, for the use. You can see the use appears to have commenced, although, a lot of these some of these look like they're just parked. You can see there's some kind of moped or motor scooter there, and the campers look to be just being stored there, if nothing else. There again, here's another picture. Some of this is taken from the back side of it. Shows some of the landscaping that's already been planted. And you can see there's the view, that's a street view from Google Earth. You can kind of get an idea from the edge of pavement how far it's back. This is a site plan. It shows the general area of where that's proposed. Just a small portion is being added for expansion. Yeah, just a kind of a side note, some members may remember this motel had fallen into a state of disrepair. I think it was about 6, 7, 8 years ago. The owners bought it and rehabbed it. It's now functioning as a motel. I think a few years ago it was an issue for the police and the sheriff's department. People were, staying in it and basically abandoned. So they've done you can see by the pictures, they've done a nice job of fixing the motel up. It seems to be, a good business and a fit for the area at this time. So with that recommended approval, if the following conditions are incorporated, the use shall be limited to 6 sites as noted on the submitted site sketch and narrative. Commencement of the use is conditioned on final site plan approval. So they have submitted a site plan that's has been routed to the agencies. I've gotten some preliminary comments back from VDOT. I don't think they've sent official comments, but it has been submitted to the agencies, and the site plan is actually going forward. So the thing that causes the campground is the fact that there would be nothing that would prohibit what you see right now. There's no ordinance that prohibits somebody from camping or putting a RV or storing a camper on, in these spaces. It's just the fact that somebody might be staying in them trips it up to that next step where it would be considered technically a campground. So just wanted to make the board aware of that. The Planning Commission, on Thursday, August 14th, the Planning Commission voted 7-0 with one abstention and one recusal to recommend approval of Special Exception 2025-03 with the following condition. One of the Planning Commission members actually was kind enough to specify something that might work there. Include 6 evergreen needlepoint holly shrubs adjacent to the RV parking area. So that would just be 1 shrub per space. So, and again, I've added these in, something new this month to kind of keep everybody focused on what we need to do here. So again, the Board of Supervisors action required, approve the application as submitted, or approve application with staff conditions and/or additional conditions required by the Planning Commission or the board. Or, of course, always you can, have the option to deny the application. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you.
And let you take over the meeting.
Would the applicant like to come forward and say anything?
I don't really have a whole lot to say, other than, I'd really like to pick the plants that we put in that area. I know they need to be evergreen and not deciduous. We've done a lot of landscaping out there. And it probably needs to be more than 5 or 6 hollies, just for our neighbors' sake across the road. And we planned a tree line out front already. We have some pines to take out that are dying out there. So we've made it look nice, and we want this to look a little nicer. And I'm hoping that y'all will take out that little part about what we plant there, because it needs to be bigger than that, and it needs to be more than 1 layer. And I don't really want to use hollies. They prick your fingers pretty bad, and you still have to get up the holly leaves.
Okay. What's your comment on that, Mr. Kretz? Because the Planning Commission has already approved it with your staff recommendation, correct?
Yes, sir. Well, the Planning Commission just makes a recommendation. So just like mine is a recommendation, you can take your own path in this, you can modify their recommendation. You always have that. The board has the final option. The board has the final say, not the Planning Commission nor staff. So you can modify that if you feel fit to do so.
Dave, if this was approved tonight, what would the steps be to be able to expand it past the 6?
They would have to come back for another special exception approval, because you're going to condition it on the 6. If you approve it, you would condition it to 6. And
It's not our intent to have more than 6. We don't really allow long-termers at the hotel. It just doesn't work for us. It's better for us to have people for a few nights and then them go on about their way. But we do have sailors who are working on their boats, and sometimes it takes a little longer.
Sure.
And that's what, right now, they're just storage, but that's really what they're for.
I will say at your place there, it does look really nice.
Thank
You've
you.
done a really nice job.
We have really been
no
doing
doubt
a
about
lot of
that.
landscaping and stuff, and I'd like for it to be kind of consistent.
Well, so let's say we're very pleased to have something in the county called the Oyster Festival, and it's like all kinds of spots around, gets filled and everything and all, and so the chance that 6 campers could show up at your place there. At any
We're gonna
time.
full up. We're gonna
So-
full up, yep.
So where do they dump their sewage?
Well, that is something we have to work out with the Virginia Department of Health, I think. And so we will put in a dump station. We have big tanks at the hotel.
So
right
is there any
now.
kind of sewer plan that's been formally submitted that we can look at?
Not yet.
No.
We're going to have a dump station of some type. We were hoping sewer would come and we could just put it all in at the same, but it's just not there yet.
Thank you.
So, yeah, if I can speak on that. It's been routed to the health department. They'll make comments as to what they need to do. They're gonna set the bar for that requirement.
It's not our intent to put it near our neighbor's home. We have a good relationship with our neighbors. DYC owns Airbnb up there on the corner. It's not the intent to put a dump station to make it an aggravation for our neighbors. Everything else is really commercial around the property.
Kevin, are you back there? Oh, you're running it. Go back a screen. The one that had the recommendation includes 6 evergreen needlepoint holly shrubs adjacent to the RV parking area. And I'm a little unclear, though. I think it's great that you want to improve that for what they put down. I don't understand that you want that released, the 6 evergreen needlepoint holly shrubs. Are you looking to replace that with something different?
I actually am. It wouldn't be my choice. They don't really get that, that big. They're a pain to clean up. I have a beautiful.
You're talking about the needlepoint holly?
Yes,
Okay.
Yes, and it doesn't really go with any of the rest of our landscaping at all, 0. I'm just looking for, so what we would much rather do is work with the guy at River Birch, which is what we have done for the rest of our plantings, and come up with something that works so you can still see the hotel, but will stay green all year and won't be a pain for us to have to clean up.
I get it. I'm just trying to figure a way here that we can make this thing work unless we change the verbiage here of the 6 evergreen needlepoint holly shrubs to something different.
Well, I could probably plant those 6 needlepoint holly shrubs right now, and they'll die before, because it's so, it gets so hot, we're not getting
Yeah,
rain, those
yeah.
kind of things. I mean, we can't do any planting until October or November anyways. Things just don't live.
Dave?
I have no objection to that. I mean, it's,
No.
this was just a recommendation
Yeah.
from one of the members.
Can we just make it like we did on the last exception, that it would be something that they could work out with the planning office?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
If the basic concept of what she's talking about, I think she wants to enhance what has been presented here over and above, I think, what,
Correct.
and that this is just not her preferred plan. So I have no issue with that.
Okay.
One question I have, if it's okay. Right now, it's obviously a sort of a parking area for RVs. So what you'd be doing would just be adding water and electric, is that?
Yeah, those bibs are already there. They're just not being used.
I see. Okay, so
So
you're just kind of making sure that it's legal to have them there and have
what we're doing
somebody.
is actually
have somebody sleep in
doing
them.
this in reverse. So the guys, when they built the hotel, of course, they have a business building homes and rehabbing properties.
Mm-hmm.
They pulled all the permits that they needed to do this. Well, they have somebody do that for them. Their secretary did that. Their secretary was in transition at the time. She did not pull the permits for these 6 spaces. And so what I have done, trying to make it right, is submit the paperwork to Dave's office, work with the planning.
Do it the right way.
Yes, sir, but it's not my forte. It's not what I do. I run the inn,
Okay.
but it is being done in reverse.
Gotcha,
yes.
thank you.
Okay, trying to accommodate everybody here. If can you live with some sort of verbiage of not listing 6 evergreen needlepoint holly shrubs, but item number 1, to include shrubbery and any other vegetation that would be appropriate adjacent to the RV parking area?
Yes, and please leave the evergreen in, because that's the whole point.
Okay, so include 6 evergreen shrubs.
Whatever.
Or
Trees.
plantings,
Anything. It will be more extensive than what y'all are asking for.
okay? County Attorney, you want to help us with that?
Well, yes, sir.
Public comment first?
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
we
where I
haven't
was
got
going.
Oh, sorry.
I was going to say,
I'm looking
thank
at
you
my-
very much for the applicant's willingness. It's not often we have an applicant who wants to do more than,
we
and I
appreciate
agree with
that.
the holly. I love the holly, but it's not fun
Yeah,
to
it's
clean
not
up.
fun.
So maybe what would be a good idea is to open the public
Yeah, we're going to do
hearing.
that next.
And then during the board's discussion, Mr. Kretz could give you some language, because I think something as simple as sufficient screening as determined by the zoning administrator.
Okay.
Or you could say 6 to 10 evergreen bushes. We could give some more general language, but
Okay.
let's give staff just a moment to
Okay.
see or noodle on it. Thank you.
Great. Thank you, ma'am.
Public comment.
I'll open the public hearing comment section for special exemption 2025-3. Is there anyone who would like to speak to that?
I do have several people that are listed. I have an Alice Luck. Okay. I have a James W. Evans.
This is our public hearing on
this
these-
agenda item.
These two items.
Yeah, I might suggest, sir, that we had two public comments which would have been appropriate for you to speak, other than what we're talking about here. One was at 3:15, and the other one, and it's pretty consistent on our agendas, and the other one would have been before we went into closed session, last thing before closed session. So,
So right now, the question is, would you like to come and speak on this application? Okay,
on this
great.
application,
Great, wonderful. Come on down.
wonderful.
So with regard to this application,
Would you just name and address, please?
James Evans,
Okay,
Let me put the time on.
675 Tidewater Trail.
Hold it.
thank you, sir.
So with regard to this application,
Hold on a second, Mr. Evans. They're gonna get to put the time on. We don't want to cut you short.
There we go.
so with regard to this application, I don't stand opposed to it. My only concern with campgrounds would be the precedent that it sets in the county. The county's done a great job of allowing every campground in this county to be owned by pretty much one company. And concerns about our waterfront area is a remaining issue. So while I don't stand opposed to this, I do stand opposed to being overtaxed in this county. So I'd like you to help me understand a little bit about the article that was in the Southside Sentinel. Can you direct me where the convenient public parks and play areas are in the county? I've been here 4 years, I haven't seen them. Where can I find the paid firefighters and fire stations within quick response times to our facilities, or for that matter, this campground that's being proposed? Who shall I speak to sign up for trash service? We don't have that either. Where are the community buildings in each county, in each area of the county where people can have public use and public meetings and assembly? There aren't any. Where can we access water that surrounds this county on 3 sides? We don't have that either. If my house catches on fire, where's the nearest hydrant? There isn't one. It'll burn to the ground before the volunteer fire department can get there. Where are the new businesses to share the tax burden? Not solar plants and campgrounds, I mean real businesses that employ Middlesex County residents. Where can my grandkids sign up for sports in this county? It's not available. We don't have these things like other counties, yet you believe we need to pay much more in taxes for far less services. The article in the Southside Sentinel stated that you voted unanimously to hire a company to reassess the whole county. That article quotes
Sir,
Matt
sir.
Walker
Sir,
saying
Sir.
there's nothing in the state code to protect elderly and retirees
Sir.
from being taxed out of their homes.
sir,
Shame on you.
none of that has
Every one of
anything.
you ought to be run out of this county.
Sir, you can leave the podium now, please.
I could, but I still have time on the board.
No, sir, not unless you're,
T. Burnham
not unless you're
started
going
the
to talk
circus. He
about.
was also in
No,
politics.
that's not what we're talking about here,
Middlesex
sir.
County's not your circus tent. We're not your suckers, and we're not going to stand for this
Sir,
ridiculous money grab.
Cut him off, please.
Learn how to juggle or
Cut the-
ride a
cut the volume
unicycle,
off.
because whatever this is,
Sir.
you're not good at it.
See you later. Thank you very much.
Won't see me later.
Mr. Chairman, there's considerable concern in the community about the article that was in the paper, but I think it would be helpful for the public here tonight to understand these 2 public hearings are about 2 specific planning cases.
Yes.
And one thing I would just add, it may help diffuse some of this. The paper did a pretty good job of reporting exactly what was said, but not the intent or the requirements under Virginia law to perform a real estate reassessment at least once every 6 years. I'd be happy to meet with any of these individuals and explain that with them.
Well, and I'll encourage for everybody that's here, if you have concerns, put it in writing and see Mr. Walker.
Yeah, or give
and
me a call.
He'll educate us on that as well.
But may we return to the public hearing about the zoning
We are.
matter, please? Because
Yeah.
that's what we're here on.
Is there anybody else that would like to
speak?
talk?
Okay, then,
Ma'am, that's not,
I would strongly encourage you guys to hold a hearing where people can actually attend. When you're proposing and discussing raising
Okay.
taxes.
So our
Is
next,
there anybody else that'd like to speak in regards to the special exemption application that's here?
Fund projects like
If-
running sewer and water across rural communities. This is unacceptable.
Is there anyone else that would like to speak to the application that we're talking about?
About the responsibilities and fiduciary
I don't see any.
duties of an
Ma'am,
county.
you need to sit down. You need to sit down, or I'll have you removed.
Again, Mr. Chairman, I'd be happy,
Bless your heart, Carla.
I would be happy to talk to any of these citizens.
I know
If
you
they'd
would.
give me a call or give me something in
Correct.
writing, but with all deference to the applicants, the board's here tonight to
Right.
talk to the
We need to focus. on
planning issues at
business
hand. And again, sincerely, anybody concerned, please give me a call.
Good. Okay, we have a motion.
No.
Excuse me, closed public comment. Now, motion would be in order for the special exemption 2025-03, with a little cleanup of the verbiage at the end.
Yeah, I feel that, I don't know about other board members here, but we're changing this to a campground and I guess a kind of a background in sewer, and I need a little bit more about that. I know that the health department's going to do their part, but I see campers coming there unloaded. You say you have some tanks and whatever and so forth and so on. You know, how many can you unload in a week's period, so forth and so on? I think I need some more information before I can make a good decision on this, and if anyone else feels the same way, I'd like to table it, to get a little more information on this.
Well,
Yeah, I think you're
with respect,
pretty right about that. I'm just saying, I think you're right about that, because, you know, you sit down there and you look at everything on this, and they say 6, and you know a lot of stuff had already been run there. So, you know, you're going back after the fact. But I think I'm not trying to hold up anything, but I like to need a little bit more information to find out what's what there. Because this, you think about it, I think this was an after-fact thing. And as you say, electricity and some water lines and things are already hooked there. So now they're going back after the fact. So I think it'd be probably good to table it and see what's what, and see what's going on with this whole process.
Mr. Chairman, customarily, if one board member wanted to table it for 1 month, that's been afforded.
Right.
if I may make one comment.
Please.
At the pace that the health department is going, I don't know that we'll know in 30 days or 60 days, or the response, or how, once they respond, it could be months before we could come back with, maybe with what the board's looking for.
Well, I like the fact you want to increase business in Middlesex and do more, and like I say, your place
Yeah.
does look good. But they've got to submit something to the health department,
Yes.
and some layout and how much they can hold and for how long and disperse when and what and so forth and so on. That would be more educational to us to see how things are going. And it seems like a lot, like we're approving a camp, you know, it's only 6 spots, it just seems like, boom, we're approving a campground right away.
Yeah,
And I'd like to know a little bit more about the sewage. However, we can get that information and do it, I don't want to hold her up. She needs to plant stuff in November, but
right. I'm just informing the board, this is going to, it will be several months before we probably be before the board, so.
before we
which
can
is
have a look
okay.
at what they're submitting to the health department, it'd be several months?
It'll be several months before, they have not made comments on it, plus we also, once they do make comments on it, they, they need to respond and send it back. So I'm not sure what degree, if you just need something conceptually or you need something that's a final plan, I don't know.
Conceptually and operationally. What are they, I mean,
Yeah.
can they unload 6 of the large campers every 5 days? Can they offload 20 of them every day? So
Right.
we see campers going in and out, people are like, my gosh, you're doing like, and I think the sewer is the thing. They have water, they have the space, the place looks good. But when I ask the question about sewer, that's something that's still got to be worked out. And I would like for the board to be able to have a little bit more in-depth look into that before we go approving it.
Right.
That's all.
We don't have any, we're not gonna have any, I just wanna come up here and
Yep.
say this. This is not our main business. It's not the intention for it to be our main business. We run a hotel. We're doing this for overflow, mostly for the sailors that do have campers. And we do have room for storage if we want to maybe expand to a little bit of storage out there. Because people do bring their boats from all over. They use them here and they don't want to tow them home. Gas is expensive. We're not looking to have more. We have 3.5 employees. We don't have the capacity for a bigger campground or a whole lot of else things to go on there. We have trouble finding good help that's consistent here. And all of our folks live here in Middlesex County. It's not something that I want to fool with a whole lot. It's not what I do. It's not meant to be our main business. And if there's going to be a dump station, our tanks are already outside. Our sewer tanks are already there. I don't think running a pipe to the sewer is going to change anything. I don't even know that it will be a dump station because we have nothing from.
Yeah, so that's what we are.
Yeah, but if it was a pipe that ran.
Those are kind of things that we need to, I think,
So
look
if
at a
it was
little
a
bit.
thing in the ground,
And
and it
let me-
went to
and
our
let me just say,
sewer.
what we change for the property while you own it, and your intentions.
Yeah.
But you sell the property, and we've changed some things, the people that buy it, could have different intentions, which you do, and we've already approved something that would encompass expanding it. We need to see all aspects. One of them is your sewer, and
okay.
we
And
just need to be
we're
able
not
to.
going to have that until they tell us exactly, they're going to tell us what we have to do. We're not telling them anything. They're going to tell us right or wrong.
Right. So what's been done is a concept plan has been submitted to the health department. They're going to have to comment on it and say, this is what you need. So then they're going to have to go and they may have to hire somebody to design it to what the health department. The health department and campgrounds are kind of a weird space. So they dictate, they call the shots with it. I cannot approve the site plan until I have VDH approval. So the use, even if the board approves it tonight, I cannot sign off on it until I get something from the health department, approving their submittal and their plans, so. But, the board, if that makes the board comfortable, we're still gonna be working forward with what we need to be working on anyway. And then, it may bring a better package to the board back if that's the case. But it probably will take you several months to get
Oh, I know.
with
I've worked with them
comments.
before.
Yeah, with the comments back and forth and submitting them something. And I wouldn't be surprised if it's December or so till we get back to the board, so. Just to kind of, the scheduling of it. I doubt if it would be next month.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yep.
Is it consensus to table this action to a later date?
I'm sitting there and thinking about it, what Dave's saying, the health department gonna take care of the sewer and everything. So why should we be worried about that? I think, the main thing we should be, more concerned is about the 6 units, and that's gonna be it, no more. And let the health department take care of it. I don't think we should be worried about that part because it's out of our hands anyway, just like Dave said. Dave said that, we can okay it, but if the health department say, no, we can't do it, so I changed my mind. I want to give you the opportunity, and leave it leave it to the health department. That's what they're there for.
I got one thing to
Go
say
ahead.
before you close it up. I know at the planning commission meeting, you were saying this was something you all was doing anyway, and you were just coming back to make sure you was doing it right, just like you said tonight. And we talking about 6 campus, and you also mentioned overflow. I don't have a problem as long as we started using it as an overflow. But you can put septic or everything there to change it to a campground, to change the name to a campground. I mean, it's in my say campground. You know, I like the term overflow, because the overflow means it's not permanent, but you can use it, you can run the motel, and you got an overflow, you put them in, I don't care. But I don't want every Reno down, Deltaville, come out and do the same thing, saying, well, you did it up the road. Or whether you had a parking lot, you know, like you have everything else, you still can do the same thing. So you have to push yourself, so there's other ways to get out. And we use avenues to get out of something instead of being direct. Ma'am, I'm being direct. Okay, I'm not putting it on the health department, I'm not putting it on anything else. You all been doing it all along. I'm not gonna vote for the thing to call it a campground, but I like the term overflow because I don't deal with that. You got 6 campus there, I don't even care about all the scrubbery that we talking about. Oh, to me, that's just a face. You know, you put all this around you, you spend all this money doing that when you only got 6 campus here and they're not a campground. I'm not gonna make you permanent, but hey, you gotta go, I gotta overflow, you gotta pay. You know, I can get that, but that's where I'm at on the whole thing. I'm not gonna push my mind on scrubbery, I'm not gonna push my mind on the sewer. I either gonna say, hey, we can make it work, in my opinion, on overflow. And that way the in here and the out, because when they come, guess what? Hey, they know they gotta go. You know, so, and that's just my opinion on this thing, and I don't even know how I go, I just went one way.
Well, we've already said it's going to be a maximum of 6 spaces. Is that right, Dave?
That's in the recommendation. I would recommend,
Yeah.
she has indicated that's where she's holding it.
So I don't really think it matters what we call it. Whether you call it a campground or a overflow or a
Well, I have to
helicopter
call it-
landing zone, I don't
I
care
have
as
to
long as
call
it's
it
only
some-
6 spaces.
Right.
And now people can come down and you can park in the Walmart parking lot. And if you've got a generator and you've got onboard water and you've got, you know, black water and gray water tanks, you can stay out there for a week without trouble at all. And you don't have to be hooked up to anything. So I think that this just kind of makes it legal and, you know, for these people to come out there and have some sort of comforts while they're out there if they have to stay in their camper outside. If you're only talking about 6, I don't have any problem with that at all. So I don't care what you call it.
We have to call this some,
Right, I know.
we have to call it
I'm just
something
saying,
that's
yeah.
in the ordinance.
It's just a matter of verbiage.
Right. We,
Mr. Harris, are you good where we are? Or are you still intent on pushing it back?
You know, I've seen what this group that currently owns it is doing. And it's, like I said, first off, it's nice, I rode by there just the other day. We're approving something here that can change hands with ownership fairly quickly, I believe. And it just, to me, we approve this, and the next thing you know, we're getting calls to where, yeah, campers are going in there all the time. Where else does a camper dump? We may want to go down there and dump there. If sewer has been, we've heard people speak about sewer here a lot in Deltaville, and that is something I think we need to be attuned to. They're gonna have to submit something to the health department. And it's probably sometime along the line, we've had someone come in here before, talk about campgrounds, and we talked to them about where's your sewer? So I don't think we've been out of line by asking this about the sewer situations. I would like to see more detail on it, and what's going on, what's gonna happen with that. How many of those campers will be allowed to dump out then? They dump so many days and so forth and so on. I mean, you said they hold hundreds of gallons, and they, you know,
No
it's.
different from a hotel room being full. They're gonna use the same amount of water and stuff, and it goes right into our tanks. It just goes from the hotel down to the tank. And we just are not gonna be able to provide anything before the health department tells us exactly what they want. And it's gonna be extensive, and we already know it. We're not looking to detract from the hotel in any way. That's our main business. Camping is not our business. That's a $40 a night thing. The hotel rooms are 3 times that. So you see what I'm saying? That's not the main business at all.
And all I can do is say that this is not the final approval, if the board approved it tonight, because all these other items, VDOT and VDH, all have to be
Okay.
satisfied before it's an official final approval. But the board, can take the action they wish. So
Can you put something in there that the sewer can be reviewed before it is finally approved or something
Well,
like that?
It's gonna be the case anyway. Isn't it?
Well, I mean, I guess, the only thing, you could keep going with what you have and keep working towards it. The only thing you don't have is assurance
Future
that
owners can't get any more than that.
that you have
Mr. Chairman, I
Approval
believe
to go to the next
there's been a question about being tabled, or is it
It's
not?
possible.
Where are we?
Yeah, I
I'm
can't guarantee
confused
that
with
they'll
the
We're not
motion.
quite
Prove it.
there yet.
Okay. I just,
Okay, per the request of Mr. Harris to gather more information before we approve this or not approve it, I'm going to say we're going to table it until the next meeting, and if we have information then, that's fine. If we don't, we'll design what the next part of the plan's going to be.
You table it, you table it till we have sufficient information to
Correct.
present to the board. Yeah,
Correct. Everybody in agreement with that?
provided that it's within the
within the
required 12-month timeframe.
Yeah, there's a 12-month time frame.
Okay. All
I
right,
believe from the time of application. Is
I
that
got you.
correct?
I got you. Okay, we're going to table this discussion to a later date.
Okay.
I got a question.
Yes,
So
sir.
she can keep on doing the same thing she doing now? That's right? That's fine. Keep on doing the same thing
I think that'd be something for the zoning administrator to discuss, yes,
Yes.
sir, but I believe, Mr. Kretz,
Or
I
what-
mean,
What's compliant or not at this juncture
I mean,
until the approval happens.
All I've seen are parked RVs. I have not seen any human habitation of those RVs.
Okay.
So, yeah,
Okay,
so there's actually no violation.
to see them continue on as they are.
Yeah,
okay, we'll table the firm decision to a later date,
okay.
okay?
Well, we'll work together to get that done.
Okay,
Okay, there's
That'd
no
be-
motion that goes to the table, right?
I think that we can do a motion if we think we need one, but
I-
I think it's been tabled.
it's been
Okay,
tabled.
I just don't know.
Yes, Okay.
We'll do is there a motion to table this matter from the board until such time as the health department information is provided, so long as it's within our 12-month requirement?
I'm not saying we would like to have the health department, but we may not get that information. We have to make a decision. We'll get some more information. So just in your motion,
Yeah.
you said we have to have it from the health department.
Well-
She's saying that could be December or January.
Okay.
We're tabling it till our next meeting to get more information.
Okay, so the motion is to table this until next meeting.
yes.
Okay.
Motion made by Mr. Bill Harris to
Yes.
table it. And is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Williams, thank you. Roll call, please.
Mr. Bill Harris,
Yes.
Mr. Crittenden,
No,
Mr. Jesse,
No.
Mr. Williams,
Yes.
Mr. Don Harris.
Yes. Motion to table has been affirmed.
Thank you.
Okay, it would be in order for us to, unless there's any other business, which I don't see on my agenda, for
I'll
adjournment.
make a motion, we adjourn.
Thank you, Mr. Jesse.
For the second.
Motion by Mr. Jesse, second by Mr. Bill Harris. Roll call, please.
Mr. Crittenden,
yes.
Mr. Jesse, Mr. Williams.
Yes.
Mr. Bill Harris, Mr. Don Harris.